لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How is everybody? How are you, Imran? Walaikum assalam. I hope everything is okay. Everything is fine with you. You can hear me okay. You can see me okay. Inshallah. Okay. Good. So I'm just still setting up a few things. So got a few minutes up. Sorry about that. So let me just make sure everything is spick and span. Good. Excellent. Thank you for joining again. Welcome to the class. I hope you're okay. Everything is fine with you all, and inshallah, we have an exciting class today as well. We'll do more. I see some of you have, of course, tried to attempt the test. That's very good, mashallah. And you know, the test is not about it's not about assessing anyone and comparing with anyone. It's more about self-assessment. It's more about a practice. See it as a practice exercise, not really a test as such. But it gives you a good feel of when you are going to do the stuff independently in your own time, what type of thinking you need to develop, what you need to think of, and all that stuff, inshallah. And it will help us, all of us, inshallah, slowly when we do these exercises. As much exercises in the class that we do, if you do it independently, even if you have solved them, print out another document, blank exercise, solve it again, but yourself. That's the point. Solve it yourself. If you do it yourself, inshallah, then we're good. We will be able to, inshallah, cope up. Walaikum assalam, Talha. Thank you for joining. I know you're on business travel, so thank you for joining. So just do your best, inshallah. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Any recommendation after the test that says you must score this and this, then you are doing well. It's just a point of view, and it doesn't really say much. So don't buy into that too much. But inshallah, if what you should do is effectively go back 2.5 months and think about, if this test was given to you back then, where did you stand back then? If you are even able to solve one question right, that's the progress you have made, alhamdulillah. Okay, so be happy about this. It's a blessing of Allah. How many answers you have done correct is irrelevant. If you're able to apply your knowledge, if you're able to think a bit more than what you used to, I think that's the blessing you should count. And inshallah, everything is okay. Okay, I've tried to answer some good questions that I think, Imran, you raised on the WhatsApp. All the good questions. Talha, you also raised one question, which was good. I hope that those things are clear. Keep asking questions. So if you don't get answers, if you don't get clarity, just ask questions on the group. That's why the group exists. It's like, as I said in the beginning, 24/7 customer support. Provided by everyone, not just Albayaan, but the community that we are trying to establish. That's why it's there. So feel free to ask questions, inshallah, and we'll do our best to answer those questions as much as we can. Okay, great. That's excellent. So last time we did the fi'il, the past tense fi'il. Today I will continue that discussion. We'll revise as we normally do. But before I jump into that, yes, all questions were good, Talha, and I think mistakes are good, you know. So I once wrote an article on LinkedIn, successful leaders fail successfully. So you need to fail successfully. So if you make a mistake and you learn from that failure and you step up again, but you don't do that mistake again, that's your successful failure. That failure will help you become more successful. So you really do need those mistakes. Yes, you do need those mistakes. Until you do the mistakes, you don't know how not to do things. Yes, you need to know how not to do things as well. So those mistakes are very critical. Don't take them as something which is not right. It's absolutely fine. It's a learning platform. We're here to learn. Let's make mistakes together. Absolutely fine. And inshallah, we'll cash on those mistakes. With each other's mistakes, we'll learn what we should not be doing. Okay? So take a bit more optimistic approach on that, inshallah. You all are doing fantastic. I think the thing I like is the commitment that you all show, and you come and you listen to the lecture and you don't give up and you keep on going, even if you have to listen to the lecture 5 times. Let's do this, because you need to make a purpose of your life, right? So at least when we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day, we can say that we did our best. Okay, I still couldn't comprehend the entire language of the Quran, but still, I was on the journey. So what Allah is after is Sirat al-Mustaqim. The dua that you ask Allah is, Ihdinas Sirat al-Mustaqim. Guide me to the right path. Guide me to the right path, not to the destination. It's the path you're after. So as far as you're on the path, inshallah, we're good. Okay? So Allah, and have your trust in Allah, inshallah. So before we start the fail again, what I thought we should do is just pick up a surah, and try to see a surah that we know, and try to see how much of it we already know after doing so much that we have done so far. Okay, so I've brought in a surah, a very famous one, that you, I'm sure, know, and I would like to do the Arabs of that surah with you today in the beginning of the class, and then we jump into the revision of the fail, and then start with the fail further. Okay, so it will help us understand how far we have come, and what we actually can do today. Let's decode the Quran a little bit now, ourselves. Okay, so what I will do is, as always, I'm going to share my screen with you, and you should be able to see it very soon. Give me a second. I'm having my coffee with me, so if you see a pause in my speech, probably I'm taking a sip. Okay, so don't go away. Okay. Good. Excellent. So let's start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You should be able to see my screen very soon, inshallah. So what I have brought with me is the Surah Al-Naas, which I'm pretty sure all of us know. The last surah of the Quran, and a very beautiful surah of the Quran. Okay. And inshallah, as we go along with this surah, we will know what exactly we have learned so far. Okay, so I will tell you what you don't know, and then I'll let you think about things I think you know, so you can decode it yourself as much as possible. Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I don't think we need to do Bismillah, but let's quickly do it because we have done it in the class. Okay, we've done it in the class. So let me quickly do this for you, and tell me if there's any confusion here. So we see this Bismillah. This is a harf of jar fragment. Okay, harf of jar fragment. That's what we know. Okay, harf of jar fragment. Yes, and we also know that this part, Ismi and Allahi, is the idafa. Yes, we know that. Yeah, it's an idafa. Light, no al, followed by jar. In fact, up to this point, not the b. So let me try to be precise here. Okay, like this. This point is the idafa, and up to this point, we have the harf of jar. That's how we're looking at it right now. Okay. And then the relationship between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim and Allah. This is Mawsuf Sifa. Mawsuf Sifa that you know, right? And again, what you have is Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahim and Ar-Rahman. What we did in the class is like this. We said Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim is Mawsuf Sifa. Yes, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim is Mawsuf Sifa. This is what we did in the class. Yes, so when we did in the class, this is absolutely fine. It's not wrong in terms of the grammatical structure. But now, you have seen a question in the exam as well, in the test as well, like Ash-Shamsu wal-Qamaru. That's, in fact, if you just apply the grammatical rules, you would find it as a mawsuf sifa. Yes? But contextually speaking, Ar-Rahman cannot be a mawsuf of Ar-Rahim. Okay? Ar-Rahim cannot be a characteristic of Ar-Rahman. It's effectively not this relationship, it's the relationship with the word Allah. These Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim Ar-Rahim is a sifa of the word Allah, instead of saying that it's a sifa of Ar-Rahim. Okay? So when I taught you this, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, that was to practice those four properties. Now you guys know that. So I'm taking you one step further. Okay? I'm taking you one step further. Now I'm looking at the context here. When I look at the context here, I would understand that Ar-Rahman, the most gracious, and Ar-Rahim, the most merciful. Okay? The most merciful cannot be a sifa of the most gracious, but the most merciful can be a sifa of Allah. Yes, you understand? So the ism that is described by Ar-Rahim is not Ar-Rahman, it's Allah. Yes, you see that? Same is the case with Ar-Rahman. The ism that is described by Ar-Rahman is not Ar-Rahim, it's Allah. Right? Both of these isms are describing the characteristic of Allah, not the characteristic of each other. Yes? You understand? So that is why, from the grammatical perspective, we did label them Mawsuf Sifa. That's correct. But now, because you now are PhDs in Mawsuf Sifa, I'm going to say, this is, yes, grammatically is Mawsuf Sifa, but when I do the real Arabs of the Quran, I don't want to call it Mawsuf Sifa. I mean, for me, Mawsuf Sifa is, Mawsuf is Allah and Sifa is Ar-Rahim. Okay? Mawsuf is Allah, the word Allah, and the Sifa is Ar-Rahim. Same story here. The same story in Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. So we need to start looking at it like that. So Mawsuf is the word Allah, Lafzul Jalala, and Sifa is Ar-Rahim. Okay? Right? So this is the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Is it a sentence? No, it's not a sentence. It's a fragment. Okay, it's a set of fragments. It has many fragments in it. We already know that. So when we do the decoding of the Quran, inshallah, and we'll start to look into the context slowly. Okay, so that question in the test, I know could have been a confusing one, because this context insight was not there with you perhaps at that time. But now we will inshallah start to make use of it as much as we can. And sometimes it's not easy to find that context, I understand, especially without knowing the meanings, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Just stay with me on this, inshallah. Okay? Now moving on. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq. Okay, let me tell you what you do not know in this sentence. What you do not know is this part. What you do not know, you don't know. We don't know this. Okay? This one. This part is something that you do not know. So don't worry about this. Okay? I'm not considering this right now. Okay? Yes, Talhab, in Bismillah there is no mubtada. Yes, the basic requirements is you must have a mubtada or one of the two, khabar or muta'alliq bil khabar. We don't have anything in Bismillah. Yes, that's why it's not a sentence. So in this one, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq. Qul a'udhu is something that you have not done yet. So I'm leaving it out. Now I want you to tell me, what is bi rabbin nas? I don't want to do this. I want you to tell me, because I'm pretty sure, you know, what you're telling me is if there is a fragment operating here. If so, which one? Is there one fragment, or is it more than one fragment? What is operating here? This is what I want to know. And I want you to start decoding this. And you'll be surprised, inshallah, how much you know. Yes? Bi Rabbi. Let's look at Bi Rabbi. Yes? Bi Rabbi is harf of jar, correct. It's a harf of jar fragment. Absolutely. Spot on. It's a harf of jar fragment. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Any other fragment you see here? Birabbin nas is idafa. Perfect. Very good. Birabbin nas is idafa. Okay. Now this is idafa. Fantastic. Very good. Now, now what I want to do is this is idafa. Okay. I know birabbi. Can you translate birabbi for me? Try to translate at least. You remember what B means? The ba, the harf ba. You remember what that meant? If you had to translate birabbi, and you know the meaning of a harf of jar, ba, what would you translate it to? You know the meaning of rab anyway, right? So you just know it. It's such a common word and we know it. Okay, so B is effectively what? With. Yes? With. Correct. It's with. Okay, with. Now, Rabbi is Lord or Master. I like to say Master because Master encompasses all the meanings, right? So I could say with Master, with Master. I'm just trying to create a translation with Master. Okay. Now I'm going to pick the second fragment, which is the idafa. Rabbin Nas. Now idafa gives me this off relationship, right? There's somewhere here an off. There's an off relationship. So I have to, Nas is mankind, okay, or mankind. Yes, you have to make sense of this. So Rabbin Nas, and then how would we translate it? We would say with master of mankind. Kind. Yes. Now this is the idafa translation, master of mankind. If I combine them, if I bring them together, and if I look at them a bit more closely, I would realize that this idafa is having an al here, right? Which means mankind is proper. Mankind is proper. So I have to introduce this the here. Yes? Mankind is proper. So I have to introduce the here. And because of this nas being proper, the word Rabbi will also become proper. The word after of is proper. The word before of becomes proper, right? Therefore, instead of just saying with master, I'm going to say with the master, right? With the master. Okay, with the master. What we have here on the right hand side, it just means say I seek refuge. I seek refuge. Okay? And now you know the translation. You've done the translation yourself. Say, I seek refuge with the master of the mankind. Yes? Clear? Makes sense? You know this new here, other than the right hand side, which we have not done yet. Okay? These are the Arabs of the Quran. You need to make sense out of it, right? You cannot do literal Arabic to English translation. Yes, you need to make sense out of this, and your translation is going to be your interpretation of the grammar. Okay, the translation is a translation. It's not Quran. Any translation is not Quran. Quran is Arabic only. Okay, so just try to do this, and you know all of this, inshallah. When we go forward, you will find that you know even more, inshallah. Okay, now Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Let's go to Malikin nas. Malikin nas. What is it? What is this? Malikin nas. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for the Arabs, the grammatical interpretation of this statement. Malikin nas. Malikin nas. What do you think? So I'm looking at Maliki. Maliki is owner. It's owner, right? And this is idafa in itself. Correct. It's an idafa. It's an idafa. Okay. Oops. Oops. Okay. Idafa. Right? Malikin nas. Now, if Maliki is owner, if Maliki is owner, then what is the translation of this sentence? What is the translation? We may not do the translation of the entire surah. I'm just trying to ask you for translation where I think it would be easier for you to do it. Translation is not the focus right now, but I just want you to feel, make you feel that you know quite a lot already, inshallah, mashallah. Okay. So Malik and Nas, there's an off relationship. Off relationship. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. The owner. You see, the owner of the mankind. Yes, you see these two the's. You see the two the's. One the is because it's annas, and the second the is because annas makes maliki proper. Okay. Now let's do another thing. Let's do one thing more. I'm just trying. I don't know if that's really the case, but I'm just trying here. Let's find out. Let's do the 4 properties of Maliki. Let's do the 4 properties of Maliki. Can we do the 4 properties of Maliki? What are the 4 properties of Maliki? I'm interested in that. I think it's jar. It's jar. Okay. It's singular. It's masculine. And it's proper. That's how I see it. Do you see that too? Do you see that too? Yes. Jar, singular, masculine, proper. And now let's try our luck with this one. Rabbi. I want the 4 properties of Rabbi. 4 properties of Rabbi. Can we do 4 properties of Rabbi? I see it as jar. I see it as singular, as masculine, and as proper. Okay? True? Good. Now let's take overall view. Now let's take overall view. Overall view. 4 properties match, right? An owner can be a characteristic of a master. Agree or not? An owner can be a characteristic of a master. Agree or not? So owner can be a characteristic of a master. Yes? So can I say that Rabbi is Mawsuf and Maliki is Sifa? Agree? Can I say Rabbi is Mawsuf and Maliki is Sifa? Yes? Excellent. Establish this relationship. So Rabbi is Mawsuf and it has a Sifa which is Maliki. Yes. Yes. You see the relationship? Don't you know everything? Yes, you do know all of this. It's just a matter of looking at it a bit more closely, right? So inshallah, you'll get there. Inshallah, by the end of this course, I don't know if this course is ever going to end, but when we reach a certain stage, I will inshallah give you a full-blown surah to decode yourself completely. Okay? Inshallah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So I seek refuge with the master. With the master of mankind. Okay. And now that master's characteristic, he's the owner of mankind too. That's a characteristic, right? He's the owner of the mankind too. Now Allah has described himself as a Rabb, and then he's telling you that I'm the master of mankind, and then I'm also the owner of the mankind. Okay, so the Malik, he goes back to the Rabbi as a sifa. Yes. Good. Forward here. Ilahin nas. What is ilahin nas? Let's look at ilahin nas a bit more closely. Ilahin nas. What do you see here? Should be simple. Should be simple. Now, ilahi means God. God. Okay? It's an idafa again. Fantastic. It's again an idafa. I'm not telling you anything, am I? You guys are telling me all of it. So you know it. Right? That's very good, mashallah. It's an idafa. It's absolutely an idafa. Okay? Now, you should be able to translate it very quickly. Ilahin nas. Now that you know it's an idafa, you should be able to translate it very quickly. Ilahi means God, okay? And nas means the mankind. Yes, Talha, exactly. That's why it's idafa. Light, no al, followed by jar. True. That's true. Okay? Yes, now you're getting it, Imran. Absolutely. You're understanding it. So then, first, let's translate it. God, the God, when you say the God, you would write it with a capital G, okay? Because it's specifically Allah you're talking about. The God of the mankind. Okay? Now, I'll do the four properties again for Ilahi. Yes? It's jar, it's singular, it's masculine, and it's proper. Yes? As soon as I want to take an overall look, and I want to take this overall look here, right? It's overall look. When I say this, look at this overall look. These properties match again with the properties of the Rabbi, the Sifa, right? So what I'm going to say, hey, Ilahin Nas is again another Sifa of Rabbi. You see how connected this language is. You see how connected the Quran is. It's precise. It's mathematics. It's like mathematics, right? So everything has a purpose. It's related. And very interesting to decode this language, decode the Book of Allah. And when you start to decode this, you will literally fall in love with it, and you then don't want to go back. You just don't want to go back if you just develop this habit of decoding it like this. Okay, so the first two ayahs, the three ayahs, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. This should definitely change the way you look at this surah next time. When you recite it in your salah next time, think about all of this. Okay, think about all of this. Okay. Let's go to the fourth one. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Let me give you the meaning of it. Waswasi is whisperer. Whisperer. Wrong spelling. Sorry. Waswasi is whisperer, and khannas is retreating. Retreating. Okay, Sharri is evil. Evil. Okay. Now let's do this. Let's do the same exercise. Yes, Tala, exactly right. So Min Sharri and Imran as well. So Min Sharri and Min Sharri is harf of jar. Exactly. And then we have a harf of jar relationship here. This is harf of jar relationship. Okay. And Sharri Waswasi is idafa. That's true. Sharri Waswasi is idafa. Correct. Idafa. And Khannas, you're close, Talha. You're very close. You're very close. Think again. Shar means evil. And Waswasi is whisperer. Waswasi is whisperer. Let's do the properties. Let's do the properties. You're very close. Okay, let's do the properties. So if we do the properties of Sharri, it's going to be jar. It's going to be jar. Oops. It's going to be jar. It's going to be singular. It's going to be masculine. It's going to be proper. Okay, that's how it is. Al-Waswasi is jar, singular, masculine, proper. Al-Khannas is jar, singular, masculine, proper. Wow, so all the properties match. Okay, so now we need to find which one is Mawsuf and which one is Sifa. Okay, so retreating is a characteristic, right? It's a characteristic. We know that, right? Retreating, someone who retreats, is a characteristic. Now, someone who retreats, that can be a whisperer who retreats, or that can be evil who retreats. Think about it more contextually. Okay, is it the whisperer who's retreating after whispering, or is it the evil that is retreating after whispering? Who can retreat? Think about it more logically, contextually. From the grammatical perspective, we can say Sharri is a Mawsuf and then Sifa is Al-Waswasi, but they are in Idafa relationship. And now Al-Khannasi is a characteristic of someone who does something. Yes? So whisperer effectively is someone who does something. He's a doer, isn't it? Whisperer is a doer. And the characteristic of that doer is that he retreats. He retreats. The result of whispering and retreating is the evil, isn't it? The result of whispering and retreating is the evil. So I would be more comfortable saying that Al-Khannasi is a sifa of Al-Waswasi. Al-Khannasi is a sifa of Al-Waswasi. Okay? I would be more comfortable in saying that. Yes? You understand? So my proposal is that it's Al-Waswasi is the Mawsuf and Al-Khannasi is the Sifa. Okay? Okay? And ultimately, if you look even more closely, all of this Al-Waswas Al-Khannas is effectively packed into this overall Idafa fragment, isn't it? It's packed into this overall Idafa fragment. You cannot disconnect this. You cannot disconnect this, can you? You cannot disconnect this. Yes, it's overall packed. So there's an off relationship here. There's an off relationship here. And there's a Mawsuf Sifa relationship in Al-Waswasi and Al-Khannasi. Okay, you could grammatically say, yes, Khannasi is a sifa of Sharri as well. Grammatically, you would be right, absolutely right. But when I go and translate this, when I want to translate this, Min is from for me. Min is from, harf of jar. Sharri is evil. and this is going to be from the evil, because al-waswasi is proper. Yes, the sharri will also be proper. So from the evil of the whisperer, okay, and then retreating. If I just make a sense out of it in English, I would say min sharril waswasil khannas would mean from the evil of the retreating whisperer. From the evil of the retreating whisperer. Let me write it down here somewhere. Okay? I would say something like this: from the evil of the retreating whisperer. Make sense? Make sense? So it's a matter of interpretation. Okay? It's a matter of interpretation. So grammatically, khannas can equally be a sifa of sharri. But when you want to interpret the meaning, you have to keep the logic in mind. So, um, uh, so if I translate like from the retreating evil of the whisperer, that's another way of translating, right? If I just take Khannasi as a sifa of Sharri, my translation would be different. My translations would say from the retreating evil of the whisperer. That's also fine. It's a matter of interpretation. Right now, what we are saying, from the evil of the retreating whisperer, and we are saying this as more with more authenticity, is because this is referring to the shaitan. This whisperer is a shaitan, and shaitan, what he does is he whispers. He'll give you a waswasa in your mind, in your heart, and it will just go away. And when the time goes difficult, it will just leave you. It will just leave you in the bad situation, and it will not come and help you out. That's not shaitan, right? He retreats when the going gets tough, right? So the retreating characteristic is of that whisperer, of the shaitan itself. That's why I'm promoting more of this translation here. But if you want to translate that way, that's also one translation you could make. Yes, it's a matter of interpretation. Okay? Good. Let's move forward. Inshallah. Allazi you asfi. You do not know this yet. You don't know this yet. Okay, so that's something we'll leave out. You don't know yet. Okay, you don't know yet. Allazi you asfi. So you don't know it. So let's leave it out and let's go a bit forward on this. Now I'm looking at fi suduri. I'm looking at fi sudurin nas. Suduri is the chests. Chests. Let me do boom. Chests. Okay. It's a mausul. Yes, you're right, Talha. Al-Laziz is a mausul. We have not done the Al-Lazi in detail, so I'm leaving that out for now. I think USV Su, I'm forgetting what USV Su really literally meant, but I think it's along the lines of, let me just quickly look up the meaning for you. So you're right. So USV Su, yeah, it's a blower whisperer as well. Okay. Yeah, it's a whisperer as well. Yes, exactly. So it's the same thing. You see the words al-waswasi and USV Su, they're kind of similar. If you do the sarf of these words later on, inshallah, you'll find probably they're coming from the same root letters. So allazi is, and this would be translated to, um, the one who whispers, the one who whispers, the one who whispers. Okay, and then we go fi suduri. What is fi suduri? What is fi sudurin nas? Idafa. Where is idafa? Idafa. How many fragments are operating here? Fi sudurin nas. I'm looking at. I just need some guidance from you here. So what do you see? Okay. So fi, if you remember, is one of the harf of jars, right? So fi all the way to suduri is a harf of jar fragment. This is a harf of jar fragment. Harf of jar fragment. Okay? Correct. And then you have sudurin nas. Sudurin nasi is an idafa, just like you are saying. Idafa. Okay? It's an idafa. Correct. Correct. Absolutely correct. So if I have to translate fi suduri, I would say in chests, isn't it? I would say in chests. I would say in. Let me just do it like this. I would say fi suduri would mean in chests, and sudurin nas would mean chests of the mankind. Chests of the mankind, right? So I would just say of the mankind. Okay, where did I get the the? I get the the from the annas, and because it's annas, suduri would also be proper. So I'm going to say the chests of the mankind. The chests of. So your overall translation looks like this: the one who whispers in the chests of the mankind. Yes, agreed? Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, then we go forward here. Then we go forward here. Okay, and we find minal jinnati wan nas. This should be very easy. This should be very easy. Minal jinnati is what? Harf of jar fragment, as you already know. Harf of jar fragment. Correct. Harf of jar fragment. What else do you see? You see anything else? There is a connector in the middle. Is it this one? There's a connector in the middle. And this connector is propagating the effect of min all the way to an-nasi. Okay? All the way to an-nasi. Yes, because there's a connector in the middle. So if you're thinking this waw could be another harf of jar fragment, it's not. And can you tell me why it's not? Although waw is one of the harf of jars, Why am I labeling a nasi, one nasi, not as a harf of jar fragment? I don't think one nasi is a harf of jar fragment. Min jannati, one nasi overall is a harf of jar fragment, and the effect of min is propagated because of this connector in the middle. If it was a harf of jar waw, it would have been an oath. That harf of jar waw is an oath by the mankind, something like that. Yeah, but it does not make sense here, does it? It will not make sense here. So grammatically, if you're looking at it, you may label it as harf of jar, but contextually, it won't make sense. It just won't make sense. You would say minal jinnati, from the jinns, one nasi, by the mankind. It won't make sense, would it? What would make sense is from the jinns and the mankind. That's what makes sense. Yes? So not just the grammatical rules, you need to keep the context in mind, the logic in mind, the sense in mind, common sense in mind as well, when you do all of that, inshallah. Okay? So it's going to be from the jinns and the mankind. Okay? Look at this art. Look at this fantastic art that we have produced. You have never seen this surah before, right? You have, it should change the perspective of the surah altogether. Yes, we do, Talha. We will do that later on, inshallah. Connector in itself is a full topic. Okay, connectors in itself is a full topic. This is something which we'll do later on in the class once you have some other concepts clarified, because connector is not something I can start talking today. I will just give you the basics right now, because it will get a bit confusing if I start talking connectors too much. Inshallah, do it, inshallah. There's a full topic on connectors. It's also not in your notes. It's part of the level 2, actually. And not even level 2, level 3. It's part of the level 3. So we'll see how we want to do this. If it makes sense after some time, we will do it, inshallah. Don't worry. Okay, you see this? Now tell me one thing. I want to do another thing with you here. Allazi, although we haven't studied this, too much, Allazi, what I want us to do is try to do 4 properties of Allazi. What is the let's forget the status for now. Okay, so Allazi we know is ism mawsul and it is inflexible. I don't know the status yet, so the context will tell me. But I know Allazi is singular. Allazina was plural. Yes, Allazi was singular. I know Allazi is masculine. Allathi was feminine. Okay, and they're always proper. I know they're always proper. No, Talha, this whole surah is not a full fragment. It's a jumla fi'liya. It's a jumla fi'liya that you have not done. So it starts with 2 fi'ls, qul and a'uzu. You have not done that, right? So it's a fi'l-based sentence. There are few fi'l-based sentences here that you have not done. So that's why I'm not going in that detail right now. Okay. but it's not an ism-based sentence. You're right. There's no mubtada here. Correct, but it's a fi'l-based sentence. Okay. So allazi is singular masculine proper, and if you look at this surah as a overall, you see jar is ruling everywhere. It's jar with Rabbi, it's jar with Maliki, it's jar with Ilahi, it's jar with Shari, it's jar with Waswasi, it's jar with Khannasi. And that tells you, and even Suduri is jar, and that Jinnati is jar, and Nasi is jar. If you look closely, if later on when you'll understand the Allazi concept, you will realize that Allazi is effectively also jar. I'm telling you that now, so I can establish some context. It's also jar, and it's effectively a sifa. It's effectively a sifa of the same mawsuf previously we have done. Not this function. It's effectively a sifa of al-waswasi. It's a sifa of al-waswasi. So if you read, I don't want to go into detail how it's a sifa of waswasi, but just by telling you there are 4 properties matching at this stage. Okay, this is an advanced concept, but I'm just giving you this insight, and it will make sense to you just now. So when you say from the shar of the whisperer, retreating whisperer, the one who whispers, who are you talking about? When you say the one who whispers, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Khannasi? Are you talking about Waswasi? Or are you talking about the Sharri? You tell me. Who are you talking about? What is this Allazi going back to? This Allazi is referring back to what? The one who. What is this done? The one who refers back to. That's what I'm after. The one who. The one who refers back to the whisperer, isn't it? The one who refers back to the whisperer. The one who is a doer, right? The one who is a doer, not Sharri, not Sharri. The one who is a doer. Yes? Make sense out of it. Make sense out of this. I know it's a bit of a stretch right now, but what we are saying is from the evil of retreating whisperer, the one who whispers. The one who whispers. From the evil of the retreating whisperer, the one who whispers. What I am referring to by the one who. Is it the shar? Is it the evil? Is it the whisperer? Or is it the retreating? What am I referring back to? Let me go here. If I write here, let's look at this. From the evil of the retreating whisperer, the one who whispers. The one who whispers. If I write this in front of you, and I want to know the one who whispers, this statement, the one who whispers, what is this statement referring back to? Is it referring back to the evil? Is it referring back to the whisperer? Or is it referring back to the retreating? What is it referring back to? That's what I want to know. It's referring back to the whisperer, right? Correct. It's referring back to the whisperer. Absolutely. So this allazi, you as the one who whispers, is a sifa in itself of the al-waswasi. Al-waswasi is a mawsuf. Although all the properties seem to be matching, we can start calling everything mawsuf sifa. But that's not the case. The context is telling you that it cannot be sharri, it cannot be khannasi. The context is telling you it has to be a whisperer, right? That logic, that context, you have to keep in mind and try to decode this, right? Take help from the translation. You don't have to do it from the Arabic only at this stage. It's absolutely fine. Just read the translation and then try to establish these mappings. But you should understand that this is also a sifa. This is also a sifa of waswasi. This is a sifa. Okay. Make sense? Give me one if you're loving it. Give me one if you like it. Give me one if you understand it. Give me two if you have any confusion, anything. This should change the perspective that you have about this surah completely. I will share this with you, inshallah. I will give this to you, this Arab that we have done. Try to apply the same thing on other surahs. There would be things that you don't know, but there are a lot of things that you already know. Look at how much of an ism Allah has used here. How much of an ism Allah has used here. One of the wisdoms behind using an ism is sometimes because ism is permanent. It's permanent. It's not time bound. It's always there. It always was there, and it always going to be there. So Allah has always been a Rabb of the mankind. He will always be the Rabb of mankind, and He is the Rabb of mankind. Same with the case with Malikin Nas. Same with the case with Ilahin Nas. Okay, all of that stuff. Okay, so there's a permanence to it. There's a significance, expression in it that you will, inshallah, decode more and more when we go forward. Okay, good, excellent. So I just wanted to make sure that you realize how much, mashallah, you have progressed, how much you already know. Okay. If you look at the other surah, if you look at this one, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ. You should be able to do a lot. Yeah, you should be able to do a lot yourself. Okay, try it. There may be things that you don't know. Things that you don't know, just mark them. I don't know this. I cannot decode this. Okay. I said most of the things in Arabic are isms. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I meant, Talha, if I said that. When you know the fa'il, you will try to find fa'il everywhere in the Quran. Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. So if that's what you mean. So ism in Arabic covers almost everything, like a pronoun, pointers, adjectives, adverbs. All of that is ism. Yes, it's a lot more than just a noun. That's what I said. Correct. Yes. And now we are doing the fi'il. And once you have done fi'il and you have done the ism, now imagine when you bring them together. And then you look at the Quran, and then you will decode it. Then it will be even more beautiful, inshallah. Okay? So just stay with me. I just wanted to give you this insight that what you have done is very, very valuable. Very valuable in last few months that we are together. Okay? Don't lose it. Just keep on applying this. Find things in Quran. Quran is your best workbook. It's your best exercise book. Open it with an intention to decode it and learn it. And this will, inshallah, give you guidance. Open it with the intention to take guidance from it, and you'll get it, inshallah. Okay? And inshallah, may Allah give us all the guidance that we need from Him and from His book. Good. So I will share this with you. And now I want to jump into our topic that we wanted to do, fi'l. Okay? So I hope you got a chance to revise what we did last time. Okay. So what we did is we started the study of fi'l. Okay? Study of fi'l. Okay? And in the study of fi'l, we were doing the past tense. Okay? We started with the past tense. Okay, past tense fail. And before we did the past tense fail, we did few things about fail. We studied few aspects about fail. We said fail is more than a verb. Fail is more than a verb. Okay, because the fail in Arabic, gives you, conveys action and the doer of action. Okay, whereas the verb in English just conveys the action, right? So every fi'l has a doer in it, and that doer by default is a pronoun. The doer hidden inside the fi'l is by default a pronoun. Okay, by default a pronoun. That is a doer that is hidden inside a fi'l. How do we find those doers? By looking at the endings of the past tense. By looking at the endings of the past tense. That's how we find it. So in Arabic, fi'l tells you what action is performed and who performed that action. Okay? And who performed that action too. In English, the verb does not give you that. Right? So then we did the past tense fi'l. And with the past tense fi'l, we use a template word. Okay, let me just quickly review these points and then I'll come to the points, Imran, that you say. So we use the template word, nasara, right? Nasara. That's the template word we use, nasara. Nasara meant, who can tell me, can you tell me what nasara means? We did that in the last class. Do you remember? He helped, correct. He helped, correct. Nasara means he helped, okay? So we would never say helped only. We would always use the pronoun to translate, okay? And the hua is hidden inside, correct. Right, okay? Great, excellent. So let me quickly construct this chart with you and then we'll jump on to the exercise and we'll see what we need to revise there or there's any open question, okay? So I will just quickly write it down here. So huwa nasara, I hope you have got a chance to recite this chart quite a lot in your time, inshallah. Huwa nasara, huma nasara, hum nasaru. Okay? That was huwa nasara, huma nasara, hum nasaru. Then we said hiya nasarat, huma nasarata, hunna nasarna. Hunna nasarna. Okay? Then I gave you a trick for anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. Yes? I gave you this trick. Okay, I said just remove the an from the beginning, hamza and noon, and whatever remains, add in the end. Whatever remains, add in the end. So you deduced with me nasarta, nasarta, nasartuma, nasartum, and then we had nasarti, nasartuma, nasartunna, nasartunna, and then we had ana, It was nasartu. Nasartu. Nasartu, and then nasarna. Nasarna. Okay. That was the chart. That was the chart. Okay. Okay, let's go. If you give me one if you're okay with the chart. Give me one if you're okay with the chart. Are you okay with the chart? Do you understand it? Okay, great, excellent. Let's go to the exercise that you're saying. Let's go to the exercise. Which ones? Number 18, you said, Imran, and also number 22. Okay, let's go to number 18 and 22 first. Okay. كأنما خر. So what do you think it is? Which pronoun? Which pronoun is it? It's huwa, yes. Do you see how it's huwa? It's huwa. Okay. So are we clear with the 18? Kharra. So kharra is huwa. That's clear. Yeah, that's quite simple. And then 22. Then 22. Let's look at 22. Yes. What do you think is 22? Yes, it's huma. You're right. You're right. It's huma. It's huma. It's huma feminine. Yes. Nasarata. Yes. It's nasarata. It's huma feminine. Okay. Any other that is problematic? Any other in the list that was problematic? I don't want to solve it myself because I really want you to solve it. So if you're stuck with something, we can of course discuss it in the class. But I really want you to solve it. That's how you will, inshallah, get more practice. And I think I already solved 14 in the class. So let me know. Let me know if you have problems, or put them on the WhatsApp, or bring it in the class tomorrow, or even now if you have any. So inshallah, we'll discuss. Okay. Great. Excellent. Now, what I want to do here is, how much time do we have? We have about, yeah, we have 20 minutes. It's enough. Okay. Let's move to the next topic in the fi'l. Okay. Now, I want us to understand how pronouns work with fi'l effectively. Okay. So how do you use fi'ls with the pronouns? Okay. Using fi'l. Using fi'l. Where's that? Using fi'l with the pronouns. Okay. Using fi'l with the pronouns. That's what I want us to understand. So now there are two types of pronouns that you can use with fi'l. Okay. The first one is two types of pronouns, not types, two ways. There are two ways of using pronoun with fi'ls. With fi'l. Okay. Now, way number one, which you already know now, pronouns hidden inside a fi'l. Hidden inside a fi'l by default. By default. That's what you know. This is what we also called an inside doer, an inside doer. Okay, this is a terminology we'll use quite a lot. Inside doer. Right? There's another way of using a pronoun. Pronouns that are attached to a fi'l. Okay, pronouns that are attached to a fi'l. This is another way. Okay, there's a pronoun that is inside a fi'l, and then there's a pronoun that is attached to a fi'l. Okay, which is not inside, but it's outside, but it's attached to a fi'l. Okay, for example, you used to attach pronouns with ism, isn't it? You used to say, for example, you used to say rabbuka. You used to say rabbuka. Rabbuka. This is an idafa, right? It's rabbuka. It's an idafa with an attached pronoun, where rabbu is an ism, and when you translate it, you say your master. Okay. This is how you used to attach a pronoun to an ism, and we learned that pronouns have independent versions and attached versions. And attached versions of pronouns could be nasab or jar. Yes, they could be nasab or jar. We also learned that attached pronoun, when attached to an ism, is always jar. A pronoun attached to an ism is always jar. Okay, this is what we have done so far. Okay, now this was an ism example. Just don't confuse it with a fail one. Okay, so it's an ism example. Now attached pronoun are also the case with fi'il. You can also use those attached pronouns to be attached to fi'ils. Just remember few things here. So attached pronoun with a fi'il is always nasab. It's always nasab. Keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. It's always nasab. Just like an attached pronoun with an ism is always jar, an attached pronoun with fi'il is always nasab. Okay, why is that the case? Why is that the case? Let me dive into this. Okay, keep this in mind. This is important. Okay, now we learned last time that every fi'il is a full-blown sentence. Okay, every fi'il is a full-blown sentence. Okay, every fi'il is a full sentence called jumla fi'liya, right? Jumla fi'liya. That's what we did last time. Fi'liya. Okay. For example, we did nasara, our template word, nasara, which is he helped. He helped. Okay, that's what we did. Now he is a doer, which is an inside doer, and helped is an action. So nasara is giving me an action, and also who does that action, right? In a jumla fi'liya, what you need is at least two things. One a doer and one an action. One a doer and one an action. Just like in jumla ismiya, you needed a mubtada and one of the other two, khabar or muta'alliq bil khabar. In a jumla fi'liya, what you need is an action, which is a fi'il, and a doer of an action, which is an inside doer. Okay, so if I just say nasara, then you have a full-blown sentence. Let me construct this chart here for you, just like we did with the jumla ismiya, so you have this clarity. Okay? Let me do it this way. Okay. Okay. All right. So what we have in a jumla fi'liya is what you definitely need is a fi'il. Then you need a doer, which is called a fa'il. It's called a fa'il. Okay? It's called a fa'il. We'll be using this terminology. So fa'il is an action. Okay? It's an action. Fa'il is an action, and then fa'il is a doer of an action. Okay? And then you have a detail. You have a detail. Okay? Detail, which is called maf'ul. Maf'ul. I'll go into more details of these concepts later on, but I'm just giving you a snapshot because I need to build this context with you about the pronouns. Okay, we'll go in the detail of the Jumla Fi'liya, inshallah, in a different class, separate class, after once you understand the concepts of fi'l. But right now, I just want to give you this because you need to understand how pronouns are used with the fi'ls. Okay, there's one thing which is action, and then that is called the fi'l. Okay, good. This is the Jumla Fi'liya I'm talking about, and then you have information about the maf'ul, information about the detail, which is called muta'alliq bil fi'l. Just like in the ism case, you called it muta'alliq bil khabar, right? So there's a detail, there's info about detail, which is called muta'alliq bil fi'l. متعلق بالفعل, just like we had in Jumla Ismiya. Okay, in Jumla Ismiya we had three things: Mubtada, Khabar, and Muta'alliq bil Khabar. In the Jumla Fi'liya we have Fi'il, Fa'il, Maf'ul, and Muta'alliq bil Fi'il. Action, doer, detail, and information about the detail. Okay, this Muta'alliq bil Fi'il is sometimes referred to as MBF. Okay, if that works for you. I'll give you my scheme that I normally try to use to keep things neat. MBF. Okay. But I label them as A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D, because I already used 1, 2, and 3 with Jumla Ismiya. I label fi'l-based sentences as A, B, C, and D, because when you combine Jumla Ismiya and Jumla Fi'liya, then having numbers for both will confuse you. What is one? Is it a fi'il or is it a mubtada? Okay. So if you just change the labeling altogether, make it A, B, C, and D, then it makes more sense. Becomes more visible. Okay. So that's how I label it. Now, why I'm telling you all of this? I'm going to go into detail later on about this for the pronoun study that we need to do now. Attaching those pronouns. The attached pronouns are always the detail. Attached pronouns are here. Attached pronouns are always the detail. Attached pronouns are always the detail. Okay? And because they're always detail, therefore they're always nasab. Therefore they're always nasab. Okay? Nasab. They will always be nasab when attached to a fi'l. Okay? Is that clear? Give me one if this is clear. This is the level of detail I want to go for now in the Jumla Fi'liya. We'll do it later on in more detail. Do you understand that every fi'l-based sentence, this is the mandatory part. We must have these two. This is mandatory. Oops, what am I doing? This is mandatory. Okay. Every fi'l-based sentence must have these two things. Must have these two things. Okay. Detail is optional. Even muta'alliq bil fi'l is optional. It means if you just have a single fi'l, it's a full sentence. You have a doer and you have an action. That's why nasara is a full sentence. Okay, but you can attach new pronouns to nasara. For example, let me construct an example right here for you because it's going to give you this context. If you have nasara here, nasara, okay, you have nasara here, and I add an attached version of a pronoun ni here, ni, nasarani, okay, nasarani. If I attach it here like this, nasarani, and if you combine them together, if let me take this table to the next page because it's getting bigger. Wait a second. Yeah, okay. So if I have this now, and now I combine the two. I take this and I combine the two. Up here. Merge and I say Nasarani. Now I say Nasarani. I want you to really understand this, okay? Nasarani. Now, Nasara in itself meant what? He helped. He helped. What is the translation of ni? Do you know what is ni? Do you know what is ni? Which attached version is it? Which pronoun is it? Which pronoun is it? Is it huwa, huma, hun, anta, antuma, antum? Rings a bell? Any pronoun you think? It's ana, yes, ana. Now, ana meant I, right? Ana meant I. What do you think ni would mean? What do you think ni would mean? It's an attached version of ana, that's true. What do you think ni would mean? Ni would mean me. Yeah? Me would mean me. It cannot mean my, because my would make more sense in the case of an idafa, right? There were two versions for this pronoun. There was a ye, if you remember, there was a ye, and there was a me. And there was ye as well, right? There was ye as well. So me is effectively me, and ye is effectively mine, basically. So you use ye, the ya only with ism usually. You would usually use this with ism, ya with ism, just like Rabbi, for example, Rabbi. So that then in idafa it would make sense because you're showing that possession and there's an off relationship. My master. With Rabbi, it's going to be my master. Me master won't make sense. Ni is usually in nasab all the time. Okay, ni is used in nasab state. So ya is usually a jar form and ni is usually a nasab form. So with fi'ils, you will find ni attached most of the time. Okay, ni attached. So when you know ni means me and nasara means helped, what you would say is nasarani is he helped. Oops, again, no keyboard change. He helped me. He helped me. Okay, and I want to give you this process of thinking, how you can decode this, how you can decode this. Okay. And there are a few steps you should keep in mind. I'm going to give you a process here. How do you decode the attached pronoun, and how do you translate that with the fi'il? Okay, this is what I'm going to tell you now. Okay. So what you should do is process. I'm going to give you a thinking process. Okay, thinking process. First thing, it's whenever you see a fi'l, and you suspect you see an attached pronoun with it, so your job is to effectively be able to make sense of its meaning, right? So what you need to do is you need to first identify and ignore the attached pronoun. Identify and ignore the attached pronoun. Okay? That's the step number one. We'll do some examples. Okay? Step number one. Identify and ignore the attached pronoun on that fi'l. Okay? Then go ahead and translate the fi'l. Translate the fi'l by itself. Okay? Translate the fi'l by itself. That's the step number two. Okay? Translate the fi'l by itself. Then go ahead and translate the pronoun by itself. Okay? That's step number three. And the step number four is bring it all together. Bring it all together. That's it. That's your thinking process. That's your thinking process. And I'm going to give you this example just now. Okay? Let me give you this example. So remember this thinking process. Now you have this thinking process. I'm going to put this thinking process here in the same table, so it's in front of you. And let's construct an example. Let's see if we can apply this. Okay? I'm going to give you a fi'l with an attached pronoun. I say nasar. Nasar. I'm going to say, let's say, nasartuhu. 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 Now, what is my step one? I need to first identify if there's an attached pronoun here. Do you see an attached pronoun here? Is there an attached pronoun here? Is there an attached pronoun here? Yes. There is who. Correct. So as a first step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore who. I'm just going to focus on nasartu. I'm just going to focus on nasartu. Okay? And I'm taking who away from it. I'm just taking who away from it. Ignored. Okay? I'm just focusing on nasartuhu. First step. Okay? Correct. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to translate nasartu first. I'm going to translate nasartu first. Can I translate nasartu? Does it map to the chart? Which pronoun is inside it? I helped. Correct. It's ana. I helped. I helped. Very good. I helped. I helped. Okay. And then I have this who. I have this who. I have translated I helped. Okay. And then there is who. Okay. So I've done step two. I've done step two, right? Now I want to go and translate. I want to go translate the pronoun itself, right? So I know I helped is there. I helped is there. And I'm going to translate who. I'm going to translate this who. And when I translate this who, it becomes it is attached form of hua, which is he, so it becomes him, isn't it? It becomes him. Oops. Let me change the line. Let me change the line, guys. So I helped him. Now I have translated him as a step three. And then I bring it all together. And then I bring it all together. I've actually done step three and step four together at the same time. I helped him. Okay? So whenever you see a pronoun with an attached pronoun, you first ignore the attached pronoun and just translate the fi'l. Once you've translated the fi'l, you translate the pronoun, which is attached. And once you have translated that, then you bring them all together. Okay? Then you bring them all together. Okay? Good. Excellent. Let me quickly take you to your notes. We're just running over time, I guess. Don't want to keep you for long. So in your notes, all of this is mentioned, okay, on your page number 35. It's mentioned here, okay? So identify and ignore the attached pronoun. And they have taken this Nasrani example as well that we just did, okay? And then translate the fi'l by itself, then translate the pronoun by itself, and then put it all together. That's the process, okay? That's how you should be thinking. And there are a few examples down here. Okay? So if you look at this, Nasara is he helped, and Nasaraha. And you know ha is an attached version of hiya, isn't it? Ha is an attached version of hiya. What you've effectively done, you first separate as a step one, you first separate this and you translate this as step one. Okay, you ignore the pronoun, and as step one, you translate Nasara. Okay, then you come up with this. Then you end up with this, he helped. That's step one. Okay? You've done the step one and step two actually here. So you've ignored the pronoun and you have translated the fi'l. And now the step three and step four, you pick up the pronoun and you translate it and bring it all together. Okay? This is 1 and 2. Let me just do it like this. This is 1 and 2, and this is 3 and 4. Okay? The 3 and 4. That's how you've done it. Okay? He helped her. Okay? This is something we just did. We did this. Okay? This is 1 and 2, and then this is 3 and 4. If you look at the translation, I helped him. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Below, Nasarat. Ignore the attached pronoun. Nasarat. Where does it map? It maps to the hiya version, isn't it? Hiya version. So therefore you get she helps. 1 and 2. Step 1 and 2 applies here. Okay? Step 1 and 2 applies here. Identify and ignore the attached pronoun. Translate the fi'l. That's what you did. Then step 3 and 4, translate the fi'l by itself and bring it all together. Translate the fi'l by itself and bring it all together. Okay? That's the process you need to follow. And there are many examples here, down here. Okay? Many examples here. Okay? Just keep one thing in mind about this one. So the fi'ls that are ending with tum, for example, alamtum, when you attach pronouns to fi'ls ending with tum, you prolong the sound by adding an extra vowel. This is an extra vowel. Instead of saying alam tumna, you would say alam tumuna, and that is valid for fi'ls ending with tum. Nasartum, for example, nasartum that we have in the fi'l chart. So if you get nasartum, then you would attach a pronoun by adding an extra vowel to it. That's an exception here. Okay, that's just one exception here. You won't say nasartumna. You would say nasartumuna. Okay, and you see this alamtum was ending with tum here. It was ending with tum here. So we added a vowel and then the attached pronoun. Okay? Go through these examples in your time and try to find the attached pronouns in this exercise. It's pretty simple exercise, very, very simple. Like, for example, this one, ikhtartuka. So what you need to do is just circle the attached pronoun. It's just practicing identifying an attached pronoun, and just try to say which one is it. Just try to say which one is it. It's anta. Okay. Practice this. It's a very easy exercise. And once you've done this, there's another one on the next page where you will have to translate that, all of that. Okay, and the meanings are given to you. The highlighted is the fa'il with an attached pronoun, or no, sorry, it's a fa'il, and then you have an attached pronoun with it that you need to translate. For example, doing the first one, ahlakna, ahlakna. What you do, you have a fa'il, and then you have ha as an attached pronoun. Okay, and ahlakna means to destroy. But you need to find what is the hidden pronoun here. So do you know what is the doer of this fa'il? Ahlakna, can you tell me? Ahlakna, does it map somewhere in the chart? What is the doer, inside doer of ahlakna? Can you find it? Can you decode it? Do you see it? It's like nasarna, isn't it? It's like nasarna. Okay? It's like nasarna. Correct. It's like nasarna. It's we, right? And if the meaning is destroy, we're talking about a past tense. What we would do, we'd say we destroyed. Destroyed. It's past tense, right? We destroyed. This is what ahlakna means. This is what ahlakna means. And then ha is attached version of which pronoun? Ha is attached version of which pronoun? What is this pronoun? Hiya, exactly. So hiya is she, right? And ha is her. Her, exactly. Ha could be her. And it could even be it. Same story with huwa. Okay, when you see the attached form of huwa, it could be him or it could be it as well. Okay, so make sense of the translation. Make sense. Sometimes there's no it in Arabic as a dedicated word. Sometimes the attached forms of huwa and hiya are translated as it according to the context as well. Okay, not just always him and her. So here you could write her or it, depending upon whatever the context is. Now you have translated the pronoun and you've brought it together. We destroyed her or we destroyed it. Both are okay. Okay, both are okay. Okay, so try to do this exercise at home. So this is not too big exercise, about 17. All the highlighted one, inshallah. Okay, all the highlighted one, if you can translate, this will help you, inshallah. Okay, not everywhere you will find an attached pronoun. Okay, you will not find everywhere the attached pronoun, inshallah. Wherever you find, just try to do it. Okay, so yeah, we are overrunning now. What I want to do is just make sure that you have these exercises. I will send you these exercises, inshallah. Revise it. I will send you the Arabs we have done for Surah Al-Naas, inshallah, as well. And please go through that, and inshallah come tomorrow with a fresh mind, and we'll continue forward. There's some more exciting stuff to come. Okay, and of course we'll do practice. Good. So thank you for joining in. Until next time, Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.